How to keep a conversation going with a girl. Now, here's the problem. There's so many videos from all sorts of dating coaches, pickup coaches, white hat dating coaches, more pickup related coaches, and they say all this stuff, giving you all this advice, racking up millions of views on YouTube or on their website, telling you all this stuff on how to create a conversation. And I used to buy into that, and some of that stuff does help. There is a certain level of conversational skill that can be developed and so forth. However, one thing that they're forgetting to factor in, or they just intentionally not realize or not mention, is the fact that if you're looking for anything mid long term, or you actually want something more than just to get laid with this girl, then honestly, a lot of this stuff, I mean, some of it, maybe you're just a complete wreck socially. You could use some training wheels, but you don't need to screw around. Most likely, 80 to 90% of the time, this girl is just like, there's nothing in common. It's like you're not working on something where a friendship can develop. You're annoyed by this girl, in fact, or is just not interested, or it can be a guy. And the real problem here is that most likely you find her really, really hot. You find her very physically attractive, and that's skewing your judgment. So here's the thing. If you want to do that and you want to get laid or you want to get a hookup or whatever, perhaps this can work for you. But if you're looking for something more than that, like even like a real friendship or like an actual like dating relationship, mid to long term or even short term, where you can actually talk and you find each other interesting. Why are you talking to this person if you don't find them interesting, or you're juggling, or you have to come to every date or interaction with a prepared list of stuff that you have to say, and then when you run out, you just freak out each time? Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for all this crap. You're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting the girl up for failure. It should almost happen naturally. I guarantee you there are people you know where you can say nothing and just chill there, whether it's your guy friend or your girlfriend, and both of you are just fine in silence. And then when you have something to say, you just say it. There's none of these filters. Oh my goodness. And again, as a caveat, there is certain stuff that can be trained out and that can help. Perhaps rarely, and I don't think this is the case with you, but there are certain instances where you're just so embarrassed or shy or anxious around this girl, and you truly do click in a lot of ways, but you can't be comfortable and think of her as a human being in person, and you just freak out. That's a different issue. Most likely though, you are too influenced by other things, maybe how hot she is. And what's this gonna lead to? Like, ideally, if you're trying to find something more long term, and you're doing this, it's not gonna work out. Most likely, you're trying to get laid with this girl, or most likely some sort of hookup, and you're trying to cater to potentially what she wants, which is more something long term. You want to establish friendships with her and so forth. And long story short, this is an extreme example, but you're into Dungeons and Dragons and League of Legends, and she's into shopping and fashion and going out. How the hell is that going to work out? It's just completely different personalities. And I disagree, from just all the stuff I've learned and seen, that you need common interests in order to have something click with a person. I think that's not true. Sometimes you have too many things in common, and the relationship just sours. Well, there's a lot of factors here. Like, one thing is equal intellect, being able to keep up with that person and them keep up with you, and keep each other interested. But common interests, not necessarily. You don't need them at all. And having too many of the same things. I mean, I've seen people who have they have deep interest in World of Warcraft, and then all of a sudden the conversation still fizzles out. So again, there's more to it than that. There's more to it to the equation. Charm, wit, actually just meshing, intellect, being able to appreciate and keep up with people's interests, even if you've never heard of the topic, or have ever done any research or have any knowledge about the topic. So the more I think about it and the more I learn about it, it's not like what you think. It's not what you think. And so that's my answer to the question. Like, really figure out what you're trying to do. And ideally, there's so many, I guess you could call them stupid people, girls who, they fall for this shit and uh, this guy with game and they hook up and then the girl wants something more long-term relationships. As to why this generally happens, it has to do with evolutionary biology, just how females generally are. Um, there are exceptions out there, which is great. Um, but I mean, guys oftentimes generally, at least when they're young, look for short-term stuff. But if you're looking for long-term stuff, take this in mind, it should just flow naturally. If you're having to like rack up your brain and use all these things, and again, I do think social skills and conversational skills are useful in certain ways, then this isn't what you want to do. Okay, if you want actual like stuff, there's so many like things you can do to keep a conversation flowing, and some of this may be helpful just generally, just being able to small talk with everyone. So here's a general system you can use. There's other systems, other techniques. It's just like with experience, it can help too. It can flow. You can talk about anything. One thing is to lower your filter level. You can lower the standard with whatever the garbage it is that's spewing out of your head is coming out. One thing is that you're probably filtering yourself too much, too scared of what you're saying, and thinking that you need some high standard of wit and intellect, and so forth. Generally speaking, that can help as well if you're very witty, charming, and humorous. But you want to combine that also with the fact that, a really good, confident guy, he can spew garbage, but it's not what he says. It's how he says it. And there's a lot behind subconscious, uh, masculine alpha male evolutionary biology traits where you get these guys who are spewing just pure garbage out of their mouth and they are just owning it up because of how they say it, how they are, how they carry themselves, and so forth. Again, ideally, you want to pair the two together. It's tough to do, but if you had to choose, it would be the one where you're just spewing garbage and the sub communication is stronger. Okay, so as for actual like structure, um, start talking about a topic. Open-ended questions you can use, but again, um, it can work sometimes. I got a lot of advice. Open-ended questions. Don't ask yes or no questions a lot. Ask a lot of why questions. For every topic, you can start branching out for a lot of topics. Oh, I go to this school. I major in this. Well, why are you interested in this? You can start talking about that topic, what you know about that topic, related to your own life, on and on and on. So the general structure is you start from here, move it out, go from there. Again, I'm just giving you a brief overview because I think, generally, um, it's not the purpose of this video to give you a outline structure. And again, embrace the chaos sometimes. It's sometimes not so structured as you think. And long story short, there is certain aspects of it where, depending on a girl and a situation, they're making a considerable effort not to keep the conversation going. And therefore, you may just have to drop it. Or sometimes it's just, you have to embrace the silence. A lot of different situations. So that's it generally. And again, the purpose of this video is to give you a new perspective on it. As for actual structure and so forth, if you want that route of just getting better conversationally, there's plenty of videos on that with millions of views on YouTube. Check those out, I guess. Some are good, some aren't that good. Just Google it. See you guys later.